If you're in town for business or a convention, do yourself a favor. Rip off that ID badge and stretch your legs. Walk a couple blocks through Center City to savor the finest beer in the world at some of Philadelphia's best taverns. In just a few short strides from City Hall, you're going to find classic taverns specializing in German, Irish, Belgian, and of course American craft beer. Your first stop has to be one of the best beers in America, if not the world, Monk's Cafe. Here's a tip. When the front room is crowded, head to the back bar where there's a little more room to belly up. When you get back here, you'll find a handsome bar with hundreds of bottles and exotic taps. Make sure you ask for the Beer Bible, which describes the selection. Owner Tom Peters is the guy responsible for all this great beer. Tom, what's your secret? How do you get your hands on all these great beers?
A lot of travel, a lot of persistence. I go to Belgium a few times a year, seeking the newest and best beers that are available.
You've been also to the monasteries in Belgium as well.
I have indeed. I've visited every monastery, all 6 of the Trappist monasteries.
What makes these monasteries so special?
The monasteries brew beer not for financial profit. All the money is raised through the sale of their beer is reinvested into furthering their religious causes. So it's not a commercial endeavor for them.
Well, one of the things that people may not realize, because they might be familiar with the likes of Chimay and so on, is that they're very, very small breweries.
Oh, in the scheme of things, compared to an Anheuser-Busch, they spill more beer in a day than these guys make in a year.
Yeah, absolutely. And they wear nice robes, too.
They do, indeed.
Let's talk about some of the beers you got here. What about this Ockel beer? What's so special about it?
This is one of the 6 Trappist beers made in Belgium. Monk's was the first place to serve this beer outside of the monastery. It was not served any bar in Belgium or any other place in the world. It was served at Monk's Cafe and the monastery itself, period.
Let's give this a taste. It's a beautiful dark beer, a nice head. Cheers. Oh, no, that's a Trappist beer. It's got full of sort of a caramely taste to it.
Little chocolate, little coffee. It's a true Trappist double.
Tom, thanks for having me over.
Thanks. Hope to see you again soon.
Cheers.
Cheers.
The oldest tavern in Philly is McGillin's Old Ale House. It's nearly 150 years old. You find it on tiny Drury Street just off of Broad. A cozy fireplace, a warm crowd, free soup at lunch, and a really nice lineup of local taps. Once you've got your brew, take a look around this place. The walls are just filled with old Philadelphia memorabilia. Wanamaker's, Gimbel's, Litt Brothers. And check out those documents over the bar. Those are the original liquor licenses at McGillin's dating back to the 1800s. Upstairs at McGillin's, the bar is a little quieter with an Irish theme. I'm here with the owner, Chris Mullins. Chris, tell me a little bit about the history of McGillin's.
William McGillin, Pa, came to America in the middle after the famine, the potato famine, and started this bar in 1860. At the time, it was called the Bell and Hand Tavern. But everybody kept saying, we're going to see McGillin or Pa or Bill McGillin. And so he said, oh, what the heck with it. So he changed the name to McGillin's.
And we're located very close to City Hall and to the old Wanamaker's building. So this would have been a central part of the city even back in the 19th century then. Fast forward a little bit, now McGillin's is known as one of the best craft beer bars in Philadelphia. Tell me a little bit about the beer here.
When we bought it, it was just the beginning of a beer renaissance in the nation, not necessarily locally. And I said, let's focus as much as we can on craft brews, particularly local brews.
One little secret for people watching this that might not be aware of it, but when it snows outside, you drop the prices on the beer?
Yep, we have beer specials and let it snow, we call it.
So duck inside out of the snow and get a cheap beer too.
Yeah.
Chris, great to stop in, really appreciate it. Thanks for the soup and thanks for the beer.
Oh, thanks for stopping in, it's always a pleasure.
At the end of the day, you'll find a change of pace at 12th and Spruce at the Tria Cafe. Tria celebrates the 3 varieties of fermentation: wine, cheese, and beer. Hey, let's grab a taste. When you say cheese, so often you think about pairing it with wine, But I'm obviously here for the beer, and to talk about that, I'm with John Myrow from Tria Cafe. John, you guys really make a lot of effort in selecting the wine, the beer, and the cheese and pairing them all really well. Tell me what goes into that.
We believe that beer and cheese actually, in a lot of ways, goes better together than wine and cheese. In fact, a lot of people pair red wine with cheese, but in many cases it's really a train wreck. Cheese often makes a bad wine taste better. But with beer you have a lot of different flavors, a huge range of flavors that goes better with so many different types of cheeses.
Let's get specific. We've poured ourselves some glasses of Saison DuPont, one of my favorites. What type of cheese would you think would match well with it?
Saison DuPont is a Belgian farmhouse ale, and it's a little sweet, it's a little bitter, it's a little funky. But today what we chose is Haystack Mountain, Haystack Peak, which is a goat's cheese from Colorado. And something very effervescent, like the Saison DuPont, cuts to the fat of a Bloomy Rind cheese and makes it taste better.
Now, I know a lot of these beers can seem really intimidating to people. There's just a wide variety of ales and lagers out there, but one of the things I like about Tria is that your staff is extremely knowledgeable and is really open to explaining everything to you when you make your order.
The menu is set up to educate people. The staff is trained very well to not only educate people, but make them feel comfortable. And we even have a school where we teach classes to the public and to the staff itself.
John, thanks for teaching me a little bit about beer and cheese, two of my favorite things to enjoy.
My pleasure, Joe. Cheers.